I'm so sad. The World Cup to me is probably my favorite sporting event. Comes around every 4 years, and this one, I just feel like it's lived up to the hype and the billing. And there was
blown away the hype at that point.
Yeah, I mean, you could argue it's exceeded expectation.
There was so much negativity leading up to it, involving ticket prices and hotel price gouging and public transportation price gouging, and obviously, look, I can't speak for every market, but the way public transportation has worked here, something I'm a huge fan of. I mean, it just seems like it's been a phenomenal success. The fans of all of the different nations that have come to the North Texas area seem like they've absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
They've had a great time. They've loved the food. They've loved the hospitality. They've loved the people. And look, I think, culturally speaking, when you travel, I mean, it is interesting when you travel and you realize that as a cultural group of individuals, we're small talkers. We're friendly, and some people like maybe perceive it as, is it genuine friendliness? But I think that we're just as a culture, we're friendly people.
That's what's funny is like the Norwegian fans came here,
Yeah.
and the U.S. has adored these Norwegian fans and the row and all the excitement and fun they're bringing. But Norway is very much not a small talking place. You go there and they're very much mind your business.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit cold in that way, or it can be perceived as cold just because that's not what we're accustomed to, especially here in the South.
Yeah, you have to invest in a long time. Like if you really are going somewhere like that and you're establishing social bonds and friendships and relationships outside, let's say you were there for a job or whatever. I mean, that's a long-term investment, Here, I think we let anybody, maybe sometimes too much so. I mean, it's a lot easier to penetrate circles here of groups and people and friends and things like that than it is in other places. But I think the World Cup has proven that we all just want to get along and have a good time and watch our favorite sports teams. And I think it's been a tremendous success.
This is what kind of sicko I am. I'm already starting to look at when's the next time the U.S. could potentially host it. And the door is theoretically open for
2038, right?
2038, because
and we know we've got some pull with FIFA, judging by the Balogun situation.
Technically, Africa and South America are co-hosting the next World Cup, even though the ones that are being hosted in Argentina and South America are
one game each.
And so I could see South America being like, "Whoa, listen, FIFA, we're only hosting one."
Yes. For those who don't know, Spain, Portugal, Morocco are the tri-host of the next World Cup.
Right.
But as part of the Centenario celebration for the next World Cup, the first World Cup was in Uruguay. So Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina will all host one match. At least that's how it's planned now. There is talk of, as a special to the Centenario, could you expand it to 64 teams instead of 48, which might then mean you could play a whole group stage game. You could have group stages in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay before you got to the knockout stage.
Jonah,
which would be
did you hear him roll those R's?
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
I don't actually roll my R's very well, though.
cheat too.
You're better than Jonah does.
Slightly.
So I'm already
you
concerned.
throw the D on there to buffer it?
I'm already concerned about Sergio de la Rey. I can't roll my R's very well.
Yeah, so am I, buddy.
Still better than Jonah.
Yeah.
So am I, buddy.
That's now turning into an inside joke at this point. But we're talking about the stars that have come through Dallas specifically. We've kind of said it the whole time. It's did Dallas have the best slate of any city in this World Cup? At least in the stars, for sure. And this is just a handful of them, right? But if you're talking about the biggest names in this tournament, all of them came through here at one point or another. And then if we move on here to VO21, Kelly, these are the matches that we actually saw. They were either draws. A 2-goal win was the largest margin. It was England and Argentina, but the Argentina was special because of Messi's goal.
Exactly, breaking the record.
Exactly,
breaking the Miroslav Klose record.
And extending it even further against Jordan when he subbed in late in that game.
Right.
But the rest, the knockout stages one's been fantastic. Norway with Haaland's late goal, Egypt and Australia in PKs, Spain 1-0, the end of Ronaldo's World Cup career. That
and winning basically as second half stoppage time was starting.
Exactly. So all of that building up to what many people I think are considering could be the final, judging by how well that France and Spain had played in the semis so far.
Well, I will be doing that game. I did briefly want to mention. So tomorrow will be the 36th match that I've done of the World Cup. So I'm working at the International Broadcast Center right down the street from where we are here at the Ultimate Dallas Sports Show.
Ching.
And so I've been working there on a project. I was hired by a company based in Canada that got the contract for the audio descriptive commentary of the World Cup. And so this is something that's done much more. It's much more pervasive in Europe, where if you are a visually impaired fan and you want to go to the stadium and you want that experience to still be, and clubs want this, and you would want this as well. You want the experience of going to a game to still be accessible. Maybe you had your sight earlier in life and you were a huge football fan and you lost it partially or fully for whatever reason, but you still want the accessibility of being able to go to a football match and enjoy it. So clubs in Europe do this. There's quite a few of them who do this. You go to the game, you go to a particular place at the stadium, and you get a special pair of headsets, and there's somebody there at the game that's describing it in a hyper descriptive version of radio play-by-play. And so FIFA has done this in a similar fashion in stadium for, I believe, the last Women's World Cup, and I think it also occurred in the Qatar World Cup in 2022 as well. And so now they have expanded it to, now it's a global offering on an app, the FIFA ADC, Audio Descriptive Commentary app. And so it's something that I got asked about doing in February, and myself, a couple of other individuals, Owen Newkirk, who used to be on the Stars broadcast, but now works at another streaming sports show here in town. Ryan Feigert, who is the radio play-by-play voice for FC Dallas, is part of doing the games as well. We have Victor Villalba doing Spanish language broadcast, who does radio for the Cowboys and radio for the Dallas Mavericks in Spanish. So, there's a crew of people that are calling these games from the International Broadcast Center in Dallas for this app. And so it's the first time FIFA has expanded it to where it's not just an in-stadium offering, but now it's a global offering for anybody can listen to it. But in theory, the primary audience is visually impaired football fans.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so it's been fun to be connected to it. It's been a lot of names and a lot of games and a lot of names and a lot of cough drops and a lot of tea, a lot of hot tea. Yeah.
How does it compare to doing a normal television broadcast? Did you have to prepare or practice differently for this?
Yeah. This is
the minutia of it.
This is as descriptive as you can possibly try to be of a radio play-by-play broadcast, but on another descriptive level.
Can you give us like an example?
It's not just it's trying to, and what's difficult about it is that there aren't very many places to characterize precisely where somebody is on the field in soccer. There's not a yard line every line like football. So you're like American football. So you're trying to do the best that you can you're trying to do the best that you can to position people relative to where they are in the field, and then look, the game is played by people, so location of course is important, but it's not robots out there, it's people. So if Messi's on the ball, then that's obviously very, very important to convey to people, or whatever, Erling Haaland or Kylian Mbappe or whoever it happens to be. So you're trying to get that, and then for example, if a player is down injured, you want to be descriptive. He's laying on his left side, and you can tell that he's clutching his right knee. Messi is standing over a free kick right now and it's going to be just right of center. It's the distance on it I think is 29 to 30 yards out. He's positioned the ball. He's bent over the waist. He's talking to a teammate. There's a bead of sweat dripping off his nose. His hands are on his knees. That kind of level, because you're trying to help a person who, what we take for granted, can't see what's all happening out there, help them build that picture. So it's been a really fun project to be involved in. It's been very emotionally fulfilling. My late mother, who passed away several years ago, spent the last 8 years of her life basically as a very low vision individual. So, knowing what that's like and knowing firsthand what somebody you care very much about is going through when you can barely see, and your own house well enough to get around, but you're low vision. And so that emotionally resonated with me as well to be part of it, and it's been a lot of fun.
How do you kind of
and the prep for it is less, honestly, because
you're just describing exactly what you see.
My prep is pretty bare bones. It's like, who does the guy play for? How old is he? How many caps? How many goals? What's he done in this World Cup? It's really. Look. I think everybody. I don't have to give very much background information on Lionel Messi, for example. But there is prep on players, but there's just not a lot of time to get into a lot of background information. So the prep's not that hard. It's names that you want to get right, and then it's like it's the basics for that. But as it relates to the upcoming games that we have this week, it has allowed me to really be locked in and broadcast 35 games and be very, very in tune with what's happening. And I felt like this when the World Cup started, that there were three clear teams that would make up the semifinal, three quarters of the semifinals: France, Spain, Argentina.
Right.
There were those three teams, and then the question would be who would be the fourth team to come out of it. And obviously, the pathway could have set up where there was a good chance Brazil would have come out of that. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden, maybe I shouldn't say all of a sudden. Look, Norway and England were the only two teams in UEFA that went all the way through their qualifying cycle and didn't drop a single point. Every point available in their UEFA qualifying cycle, Norway earned every one and scored 37 goals in the process.
Yeah. It was decisive.
Yes, yeah. And England won every match of the 8 that they played as well, and I think maybe only conceded like 2 goals in their qualifying process.
Right.
They didn't score as much, but their defense was airtight, essentially. It was clean sheets all the way, other than, I think, a couple of games. And so, you knew that Norway was a candidate the way Erling Haaland was playing and the way it was setting up for them, and then England. But there were 3 obvious candidates, and then who would be the other team that would come through. And that was quite a drama in that quarterfinal on Saturday. Well, look, the Norway-Brazil game was great because obviously Brazil could have won. Look, they've got one of the great players in the world in Vinicius Jr., but obviously Norway's got Erling Haaland, and he delivered for them on that stage. And if Norway had taken their chances a little bit better in the first half the other day, that might have been a 2-0. Now, granted, people, very, very lame soccer saying the most dangerous lead is a 2-0 lead.
I'd rather be up 2-0 than
I would rather, yes. And they should have been. They should have been if they had taken one of their particular
Kelly,
do we have the meme ready to go?
VO27.
This is why Norway should have been up 2-0.
Yeah, there you go.
It's right here.
Yeah.
Sorloth.
It was shocking watching it live.
Yeah.
Like, it was literally unfolding like, oh my goodness, they're about to go up 2-0.
Oh my God, Haaland's wide open.
I'm glad you
slot
got
him. Slot him.
LeBron J.R. Smith 2018 Finals meme. That's good. That's nice.
But what do you make of the wire controversy, though? Because that seemed to come out of literally thin air where Norway's concerned. So,
well, look, I never saw. Did you feel like that there was ever a definitive angle that it hit?
I think there are some behind angles where you can see it drop slightly, but
you see the England player, he plays it right the whole way.
Yeah, well, again, if it drops right at your feet,
would you guys like?
It might have been a bit of a knuckleball
today.
So go ahead, Kelly.
So I will not name this individual because I don't know if he's allowed to say anything or not, but I will say that he was the Skycam operator at the game in Miami.
Okay.
So if there was a cable hit,
okay,
it would have been his cable, and he said his camera did not shake.
Interesting.
Well,
wow.
that means reinforced cable. That's all that is.
He said normally when their cables get hit, you see it at least like wiggle just a little bit.
I'm just saying this. Like, if we're taking the snickograph at face value, because that's what FIFA put out there almost instantly and saying, hey, there's no kind of contact on this graph whatsoever, because this is what they use to show the hair follicles make contact with the ball.
Yeah,
the Portugal-Croatia game.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if you're judging by that, fine. I just it feels interesting to me that, like, especially everyone on Norway's side almost instantly pointed at it. Mm-hmm. And at a certain point, we're relying on technology that we barely even trust based off of the Portugal-Croatia one. Because I still have gripe with that one. There should have been multiple pings on that graph to show after it hit here and then the header after.
The problem is it was missed, and it wasn't seen in time to really get VAR protocol involved into it.
Right.
I guess that's really the issue is, and maybe there should have been. I mean, maybe you need to be making a stronger case to the fourth official, who's then communicating with the lead referee on the field, who's then communicating with the video assistant referee. There just didn't seem like that there was enough urgency to check it on the field, to make that argument on the field to get the VAR protocol involved. And if the VAR protocol never gets involved, then obviously retroactively. I mean, I know, obviously there was the retroactive nature of the Egypt goal that was disallowed, but the VAR protocol, as much as this frustrates people, the VAR protocol was followed in that.
Yeah.
It's just we're not used to seeing somebody gain possession 100 yards away from goal and then have an uninterrupted phase of having possession leading to a goal all the way at the other end. But the laws of the game with regard to VAR protocol are written very clearly that you can look at a foul in the attacking phase of play, and the attacking phase of play can be deemed to begin when you won possession of the ball. So they have written VAR protocol in a way where, based on the spirit of that, it was followed in that Egypt-Argentina game correctly. And obviously they didn't get the VAR protocol activated, for lack of a better term, in time to be able to really go over that Norway-England situation with the fine-tooth comb, since we're talking about hair follicles from earlier. That was a reach, I know.
No, that's okay. That was great. I love it. He doesn't. That's okay.
But so I guess I was not up in arms about it. Was a miss, or potentially it was a big miss, but maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I mean, you still had a lot of other moments in the game where you could have won the game.
Real quick, who we getting in the final?
Well, I think France is the best team, and I think France's B team, for lack of a better term, could demolish a lot of teams in the 48-team field. So I think France wins the semifinal here tomorrow. I think Argentina wins the semifinal against England. And then I think France wins the final against Argentina. I think France is the best team. I genuinely do. And Argentina's looked, I don't know, they've had some vulnerabilities that, I mean, Cabo Verde pushed them. Egypt, I mean, really pushed them.
They almost got knocked out 3 different times.
Switzerland pushed them more than we expected the other night, too. So, I fancy France.
I've been watching France since '98. This is the best attack they've ever had.
Phenomenal. They're phenomenal.